This is a photo. This is a hard photo. And every day for the past 365 days, I challenged myself to try and take the hardest photos I possibly can. This challenge ended up being one of the hardest things I have ever done, but I am so glad that I did it. Even though this experiment demanded so much of my time and energy and forced me to push myself to my creative limits, it has rewarded me in ways that I could have never imagined. In November of 2023, I posted this video where I first explored the idea of hard photos. In the world of photography, there are different genres of pictures: portraits, landscape, street. But in the last 2 or so years, a new genre came to be: hard photos. A hard photo is described as a photo that gives off a very specific vibe. The vibe of badassery, coolness, with a little bit of absurdity mixed in. Basically, if when you look at it, you think, hell yeah, then that's a hard photo. I was really intrigued by this, by the fact that the pictures in this genre could be so different from each other, yet still give off that same sort of hell yeah vibe. So I started dissecting these photos, looking for a formula, and when I had found one, I decided to take some hard photos of my own. But I thought I could do better. Since it was the end of the year and 2024 was rolling around the corner, I promised myself that in 2024, I would shoot, edit, and post a brand new hard photo every day of the year. And to take it a step further, I wouldn't only be posting photos, but I would be posting shorts along with the photo of that day. Nothing was pre-recorded, everything was shot and edited the same day that it went live. And in doing this, I ended up documenting what ended up becoming one of the most difficult years of my life. On January 1st, I posted my first short every single day. So today, my choice of camera was my old Polaroid red line camera. No face cam, just voiceover. It wasn't until day 5 that I finally showed my face. And this trend kept going through every single day of the year, no matter what. At my highs, at my lows, if I was on vacation, if I was out of state, if I was tired, if I was sick, even if I was hungover, I would still sit down and put something out there. I quickly realized that I bit off way more than I can chew. I work a full-time job, and this series kind of became another job. So finding time for myself or my family became extremely difficult. Some days I would stay up all night working on that day's photo in the early morning hours, knowing that I wouldn't have enough time to work on it during the day. I was quickly draining my energy. But then a miracle happened. My series was taking off. After only about a month and a half and just in time for my birthday, my Instagram account had gone from 0 to over 100,000 followers. I had an audience. As long as I can remember, I have been making videos. When I was younger, I would make those iMovie trailers with my sister. Those trailers eventually became short films. And as I got older, I realized I didn't just want to act, I wanted to write and direct as well. So I grabbed my sister's Nikon Coolpix and started shooting. And then eventually, I made my very own YouTube channel, hoping that one day people would find my work and enjoy it. And holy shit, it was happening. It's time to grind. No matter what, I am putting out a banger. I am watching those numbers closely, reading the comments, keeping track of the poll that I would post on my Instagram story every day. If it's 90% or higher, I'm happy. If it's in the 80s, I could have done better. If it's less than 80, holy shit, my day is ruined. I just have to do better tomorrow. The audience deserves it. Wake up, spin the wheel, take a picture, record the video, edit the video, rinse, repeat for months. Oh, and on each 100-day mark, I would release a long-form YouTube video reacting to your guys' hard photo submissions over on my subreddit. These videos were extremely fun to do. Even though I would lose so much sleep making sure that I could get these videos out on time for the 100 days, it allowed me to connect with you guys in a way that I wasn't able to do before. So yes, editing a full-length YouTube video on top of, the daily photos and daily videos and a full-time job was hard, but at the same time, it was a very special way to connect with you guys. Also, just a fun little fact, on day 300, I posted a very mid photo, super late, because I was busy all day making the ring that I would use to propose to my then girlfriend. So even though this photo sucks, let's be honest with that, it's very special to me. A lot of these photos have some sentimental value to me because of what I did the day that I took those photos. Like this photo, mid, but that was the day that I got engaged. Crazy. Anyway, after another few weeks of daily photos and videos, we get to December, the beginning of the end. I had this idea that since I had 13 cameras and 9 lenses, I would start eliminating them from the wheel to make sure that I get to use each camera and lens at least once in these final days as somewhat of a goodbye. Anyway, here's how that went. A lot of people were guessing that I was going to do this in the last 13 days because on the wheel I had 13 cameras, but I have my 13 cameras plus my 9 lenses. And if you associate one lens to the Canon 80D and the rest of the lenses to the Canon R6, that leaves 20 days to go through each camera and lens. But being that it's the holidays and I have, projects like this planned, I tried planning ahead. So it's probably no surprise to some of you who have seen all of my videos, but whenever an idea pops in my head for a hard photo and I don't use it for that day, I write it down in my notebook. I have pages full of ideas in here. For the most part, when I would roll a camera, I would come up with the idea for that photo of that day. But being that for these last 20 days, I knew that I was going to use each camera and lens at least once, I thought, what if I plan ahead and assign ideas to each camera? That way, when I roll the camera, I already know what I could do. So that's exactly what I did. I have here 20 ideas for the last 20 days. Actually, I think it's 19 because I currently don't have an idea listed for the R6 with the 135 Pentax combo. But I'll just read out the ideas that I have. For the Insta360 Go 3S, poker body cam, cop cam. For the PowerShot, smoking with Herobrine. For the DSi XL, crime scene body. I changed my mind. I thought it would be funny if I just took a photo, completely fitted out like a mirror selfie with a DS, so you could see that I'm taking the selfie with the DS. I mean, doing like a crime scene photo would be funny, but since you wouldn't know it was taken on the DS, it'd actually be kind of scary. Just low quality crime scene photos. No thank you. So to get a little more humor into it, doing this, and I might write some words on it like wedding. I don't know. You can't deny. I'm looking spiffy. Throw some glasses on. Look like, what is it, John Lennon? Goofy. Whoops, did not mean to take that picture. All right, we should be good. For the iPhone, grenade ping pong. All right, so we're going with pool instead. Shit. So even though when I came up with the idea, I originally had ping pong in mind, I don't have access to a ping pong table on the regular. Pool, on the other hand, or billiards, I know a few places that give me access to one, which is where this place comes in handy. Now, the shop where my dad works has this cool game room just under their office, full of a bunch of cool things. It's got whatever this game's called, and of course, billiards. Now, all I gotta do is start setting everything up for the photo. For the JVC Super VHS, the Hatman YouTube. All right, so we ran into a bit of an issue with today's, not idea, but the camera itself. I'm pretty sure my JVC Super VHS is broken. When I turned it on, even though the lens cap wasn't on, I couldn't see anything. And I thought maybe that was just a thing with the screen. Maybe I could still record, even if I can't see exactly what I'm recording. No, this is supposed to be the last time I use my tape camera. Could I substitute it with something? Well, yes, I actually have 3 more tape cameras. But unlike the Super VHS, which takes VHS-C, these take mini DV, which is another problem. Because the way I digitize my footage from my VHS-C is I put it into a VHS-C to VHS adapter, play it in my VHS player, record it using a capture card directly to OBS, boom, digital files. How am I supposed to do that if I have no way of adapting mini DV to tape? Well, that's where that bad boy comes in. This is a working CRT TV that I have in my room. So if I hook up my tape camera to the TV and feed the visuals from that camera onto the TV, I can then insert a blank VHS and record through the CRT directly onto the VHS. So that's exactly what I did to get the effect that I wanted. Problem solving. That's basically all this series has been. For the Sony a7S III, towed half in half. Yeah, that's not at all what I did. I couldn't find him. I have no clue where he is. So I just made something up completely. For the Polaroid, escaping saran wrap. It makes sense in theory to me. For most of my Polaroid photos, I try to think outside of the box. I did one photo that did pretty well, and it was me writing from the inside like I was trapped in the Polaroid. And since this is the last Polaroid I'm gonna be doing, how about I break free? I just have no clue how it's gonna turn out. I took the photo already, I'm losing light, and I haven't even seen them, they're still developing. But if this works out, then this will be the end of the Polaroid for this year. For the Nikon Coolpix alcohol bomb vest. For the GoPro man fighting car dash cam. DJI Air 2S, I think it's the Air 3S, for the DJI Air 3S drone with a gun. For the Insta360 ONE X2 Subway Surfers. That didn't work out how I wanted. Because it's the holidays, my sister's visiting, and we had a very full day, got back after dark. I don't have the time nor the light to do the Subway Surfers idea. I've used the Insta360 to get a similar shot for like a little sketch that I made a while back. But since I was out all day, I was just running out of time. So while I was frantically running around my house trying to figure out what I could shoot, I mean, my brother just got a new fish. The 80D with the 18 to 55 millimeter, that's the kit lens that came with the camera, Fortnite map. Yeah. I'm not doing that today. I really hate yesterday's photo, so I want to redeem myself by doing another pet-themed photo. So let's give my dog a haircut. For the Camera R6 with its lenses, the 10 to 18 millimeter whiskey timer. So I changed my mind. Only kind of though. Instead of turning 2 bottles of whiskey into like one of those sand timer things, I'm just gonna take 1 bottle, hang it in my shower, then well, yeah, you could probably guess the rest. Nothing for the 135 Pentax. All right, today is Christmas Eve. I want to do something Christmassy. Still have no ideas for the 135 Pentax, so I'm gonna steal the idea from my other vintage lens, the 50mm Vivitar. I'm just doing that instead. For the 85mm cigarette belt lighter, Merry Christmas. I'm not gonna do that one, because first of all, it's Christmas Day. How am I not gonna do something Christmas related? And second of all, yes, I do have this belt buckle lighter, but having someone light a cigarette from like right here, it's a different kind of hard photo, you know? Not one that I want to do. But you know me, I'm still sticking with the cigarette theme. For my 50mm dunking head, I don't have time to do that. So I'm just gonna steal the idea from the 55 to 250. For the 8mm fisheye, money spreading me. I had a better idea. When I first got the fisheye, I was taking photos of everything. And I took one photo of my brother walking the dog at night, and I really liked it. So since it's the last time I'm using the fisheye in this series, why don't I recreate it? But instead of walking my dog, I walk something so much cooler. And for the 55 to 250mm gun rat trap. So obviously I can't do that. I did that a few days ago. I stole my own idea without giving my future self a replacement. So it's getting late. I don't really know what to do. I'm kind of leaning towards this guy up here. He's really calling to me. I don't know. Yeah, I did almost none of the ideas that I had planned for myself to try to make things easier. Whoops. I mean, I would just move ideas from one camera to another, or from one lens to another, or just completely make up a whole new idea on the spot that day. But you know, when it comes to something like this, nothing ever goes to plan. So I just got banned on TikTok. As you can see here, it was permanently banned because of multiple policy violations, which most of them, if not all of them, were complete and utter bullshit. Right now, it is December 29th at 4 in the morning. I'm writing the script for the video that you're watching right now, just to get the notification that I had been permanently banned. I've had so many issues with them taking down videos, sometimes taking down the video, demonetizing it, giving me the video back, but keeping it demonetized for the same reason that they admitted they were wrong about, which is why I got the video back to begin with. And in this case, my best performing video on TikTok ever made me $1,400. And less than a week later, my account is banned. I don't think that's a coincidence. This was such a hit to my morale in these final 72 hours. But I can't lie and say it was a surprise to me. Ever since the beginning of the series, TikTok has been on my ass. TikTok banned yesterday's video, day 18, from being on the For You page. It says that the reasons are because it's unoriginal, low quality, and QR code content. I don't know what that means. Unoriginal content is content that is just imported or copied from other sources without new creative edits. That's bullshit. I have been making original content specifically for TikTok, demonetizing here and there for little to no reason. And if a video does a little too well and might make me just a little too much money, demonetize and strike. For instance, my video for day 25 not only got demonetized and then removed, it got me an account strike for dangerous activity. The only thing that I could think of in this entire short that is dangerous activity is this. I just kind of went for it. You gotta admit, that's badass. Me cutting a watermelon in half. But you might be thinking, oh, you know, that could be considered dangerous. You don't know exactly where they draw the line. So you're saying this isn't allowed, but you're saying this guy, whose entire account is swinging an axe, isn't dangerous activity? So you're saying that this isn't the same as this? And this guy, this is his whole account. He has his millions of followers, millions of views. Who knows how much money he's making? So you're saying he gets to keep all this up, but I get my account striked for this? What did I do wrong? I could talk about this for hours, right? All the things that TikTok has done to wrong me for whatever reason. I'm convinced that TikTok just doesn't want to pay me. I tried everything to get my account back, but nothing was working. So as far as I'm concerned, right now, it's gone. You know, and that sucks, because this series was supposed to be for TikTok originally. But hey, the Instagram page has been doing way better than my TikTok for quite a long time now. So even though I'm no longer making any money off of all this time and effort that I'm putting into this, I still have an audience who are counting on me. On the second to last day, I was left with my 50mm Vivitar lens, which originally I had planned for this photo, but since I did that earlier, I kind of just made something up the day of. And honestly, it was better than anything that I had planned. A night watching the sun set. I mean, this would have been good for the last day if you were to picture that in your mind, but I had something very special for the last day already. If you were watching the series live, you would have realized that the second to last day was actually the final day that I was going to be using a camera and a lens from the wheel that I had been using this entire year. So even though it wasn't the final photo, it still held some sentimental value to me. I wanted this photo to be symbolic. I wanted it to symbolize the ending of a journey. Not the end, because I still had one day left, but the ending of a journey. The photo was inspired by my favorite photo this past year, which was day 270, the knight holding a gun. I mean, this photo was not only my favorite just because it looks awesome, but just like many of the other ones, it holds some meaning to me. I know I'm going on a bunch of rants here, but this is just how my mind works. This is how the mind works that brought you 365 hard photos. So just bear with me for a second. But for me, this photo encapsulates the idea of trying again. I almost used this idea the day before, but when it came out looking like, you know, absolute dog ass, I pivoted to something completely different and settled for this almost even worse photo. Which, yes, it hurt seeing the ratings, seeing everyone said that I fell off, but in the end, I'm proud of myself for believing in my idea enough to wait for a better time to execute this photo. Anyway, now that it was my last day using one of my own cameras for my wheel, I took the character from this photo and decided to give him an ending to his story. It also kind of touches on that idea that a lot of young men have for some reason, I mean me included, of being a wounded soldier, laying down bleeding out while looking over a beautiful landscape. However, notice how in this picture, he doesn't seem to be wounded. He's not dying. It's not the end for him. It's just the end of this one journey. God, I'm just so good at symbolism. But with that photo out of the way, it's time for the final day. I had the idea for this photo ever since day one. I knew that once I made it to the end, not if, but once I made it to the end, I wanted to print out every photo that I had taken this year, pin them all to a wall behind me, and place all the cameras in front of me at my feet, and take a photo that basically captures the essence of this entire year. So to prepare for this, while all of this was going on, I was secretly taking trips to the local CVS, printing out my photos in batches, trimming the white borders that they get printed with, using a trimmer that I specifically bought for this purpose, and putting them in order, over and over and over, just to get everything set up for the final photo. This was an unreal experience. I walked into my dad's shop at 12 a.m. on December 31st, the final day of the year. And with the help of my mom, my dad, my brother, and his girlfriend, who, fun fact, was there during the original YouTube video, we pinned every single photo on this makeshift drywall set. We had basically an assembly line where my brother and his girlfriend would trim the photos, write the day number on the back, hand it to my mom, who would put a pin in the photo, who would hand it to my dad, who would carry it all the way over to me, and I would pin it on the wall. And as each photo passed my hand, I would be taken back to the day in which I took that photo. I was slowly watching a year of my life materialize on these walls. And when I was done, I was staring at a year's worth of work and the cameras that I had used to make it all happen. Also, I know you guys are probably wondering if all of my cameras were in the photo, what camera did I use to take the picture? Well, 30 minutes before we left to go to my dad's shop, my buddy Authon, who was in this photo and also took this photo, dropped off his camera so I could use it. So shout out Authon. Standing in this corner, surrounded by the representations of every day of my life in 2024, really put things into perspective for me. A year's worth of hard work, a year's worth of pushing myself to my creative limits, a year's worth of having fun with my friends and family, a year's worth of sharing myself with you guys, all in one photo. Thank you to everyone who watched every day. To everyone who stuck with me, thank you for making 2024 the most rewarding year of my life.